Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video. This video is absolutely not clickbait. It's an intro video to preview the final chess tournament that I will be playing for the rest of 2021 and for the foreseeable future. And if that confuses you, you should watch my video called Will Levy Be a Grandmaster, where I talk very openly, candidly about my journey to the Grandmaster title. This tournament was going to always be my second to last tournament. I was always going to play a tournament at the end of November in Charlotte, once again, the US Masters, but I discovered that number one, it interferes with the World Championship, so I cannot be making my own recaps of Magnus Carlsen's games in the same day, and at the same time, that tournament is over Thanksgiving, so that wouldn't work. Now, as always, with all of my chess tournaments, we're gonna have a 33% off code, so whenever this video launches, this code is already active. All my courses are going to be 33% off, 1/3. You gotta use the code New York, one word. Why? Because this tournament is in New York. It's called the New York GM Round Robin. I'm gonna take you through my preparation leading up for all of my games, kind of take you through what my field looks like. And yeah, and I mean, then after that, we'll kind of circle back, we'll go full screen, and you know how these videos work. Okay, so in the first round, I'm playing against Robert Perez. Robert Perez is an interesting individual. He's my year, 1995. His rating is 2380 FIDE. He's an IM. Actually, he's not an IM. Actually, he doesn't have the IM title. Wait a minute, I gotta remove this. That's kind of interesting. He's IM strength for sure, but he doesn't have the title. I guess maybe he only has 2 norms, or maybe he just doesn't want to get the title. He just wants to go straight to jam. I played Robert maybe 5-6 years ago, and it was a Trumpowski. It was a 30-minute game at the Marshall Chess Club. He beat me. I don't remember playing very well that game. I remember missing a lot of moves, like his ideas. Now, Robert's interesting because I think at the age of 14, 15, he went to MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, I believe. Super smart guy, probably works in like finance right now, you know, swimming in the fat stacks. But he's playing in this event. He doesn't play a whole lot. So all I have in the database is games that are pretty old where he plays the Grunfeld. Now, if I know a guy is going to play the Grunfeld is pure equality. I mean, black equalizes, but it's an extremely complex opening. So I haven't had an opportunity to actually showcase in any of these recaps my prep in the Grunfeld. I played the Grunfeld in Charlotte, and I played this variation with Bishop F4, Castles, Rook C1, and then this was against Mark Paragua. He played DC4, and we had a super wild and complicated game, which actually ended in a draw in about 15 moves. He kind of took a pawn, and then we just decided to call it a day. Now, for this tournament, I'm preparing ideas that I'm obviously not going to share right now, just in case Robert watches. Robert, you bastard, don't watch this video. But the Grunfeld is something where you need like 3 or 4 choices. So you can enter the main line with CD5, Knight D5, E4. And then there's many setups here. You can play Bishop C4 and then Knight E2. You can play Knight F3, Bishop E2. There's like even Rook B1. Rook B1 is actually a move because you can push your pawn in many cases and you're not blundering a fork. So Rook B1 is also very common. There's many lines against the Grunfeld. You can also, I can again play the Trumpowski, but look, Robert, I promise you I'm not going to play the Trumpowski. So for this first game, it's actually a very important game because I'm playing someone who isn't actively competing all the time. This individual is a strong player, but this is not like an 11-year-old super talent, right? So I gotta win this opening round. Like this is a big game, and winning it would be huge for the tournament. Because in the second round, I play with the black pieces against Grandmaster Oliver Barbosa. So Oliver, I've actually played multiple times. I played him in a round robin some time ago. In 2019, he began with Knight F3, and then I played him in 2016 in my video called The Best Chess Tournament of My Life, where he played E4 and I played the French. This was my edgy phase where I was rebelling against my parents, my father, the Caro-Kann. I was rebelling by playing the French, and I actually won that game. It was a really interesting game. But Oliver is, as strong of a player as he is, he's also not really actively competing as much. I mean, I think he's teaching more nowadays. And so I think he prefers just a flexible, solid opening repertoire. I don't exactly think he's going to, come in with like 40 moves of prep in the Caro-Kann. He played Knight F3 against me in 2019, and that game was really complex. I went for like this bishop g7 idea. I played this against Theodoru in Las Vegas, and he played a very early c4 and then like knight a3 to try to recapture this pawn. So we had a really imbalanced opening. I remember being very uncomfortable with the position that we got because like I'd never had it before, and it was something like this, like something really obscure. Like he played like bishop d2 and then like a very quick b4, like something very strange, which had only been played like 4 or 5 times. Actually, there was a game in the database, Artemiev Nakamura. You know both of those players. What do I expect from Oliver? More of the same. I think he'll play knight f3. I think if he plays d4, he won't go for the main lines. Like, you know, he won't like play into a Nimso, for example. You know, maybe he'll play like a Catalan. You know, like you don't need a whole lot of theory to play the Catalan. You can just play the Catalan. But we'll see. I mean, I anticipate knight f3. It worked last time, and in general, I lose games against knight f3 because it's a cycle. The GMs keep playing knight f3 against me, and even if I equalize in the opening, I end up losing. So my statistic in the database against knight f3 is like hilarious. It's like 70% score for white, but then you look at all the players and they're all really, really strong. So it's an epic site. You know, if I played like 2300s in knight f3, maybe I like make the statistic more balanced, but you know, it's rough. And then in the third round, I have a date with Alexander Lenderman, who's 2640, highest rated player in the tournament, just had a really good run at the U.S. Championships, and Lenderman is just unpredictable in many cases. He plays extremely fast, and it's going to be a bit of a psychological battle for sure. He's kind of, I think he's got the psychology worked out of all the players in the tournament. Against d4, I mean, he might go for knight f6, e6. He also really likes to play like this because he loves the French defense. And his idea of playing d4, e6 is that if you don't play into the French, he's not going to go for main lines. He'll go for e6, b6. He really likes to play this. I have a course on this. You can get it for 33% off. And e6, b6 is, you know, white can get some sort of nice and pleasant position with more space, but you're also playing a 2640, who plays extremely fast, is very tactically strong, so I'm going to have to be on my toes for this game. I'm really going to have to fight that instinct to just be solid. Yo, I'm playing a 2640, let me be solid, because if you spend the whole game being solid and playing slowly, you're going to lose, and you know what I mean? So this is going to be an interesting game. I really don't know what the hell to expect from Lenderman. I mean, for me, you know, against d4, I don't know what he's going to do. I can tell you he's not going to play the England Gambit. That's about, you know, the extent of my prep. He's going to go for some e6, b6, knight f6, e6, e6, d5. I don't know. We'll see. Benoni, we'll see. In the fourth round, I go back to the black pieces against Kevin Wang. He actually very similar to Robert. So he's kind of like a mid-20s guy, maybe 24, 25. I don't exactly. I think he's like a year or two younger than me. Strong player was like 2450. I am. Now he fell down a bit, 2380. I mean, he actually has the exact same rating as Robert, 2378. And he's like working, I think, in finance or something. And Kevin, I think, is an e4 player. So this game is, I mean, it's going to be a caro. And, you know, we'll see what he does. I don't know how much he'll prepare or what he'll prepare. But, you know, this is what's going to happen this game. And, you know, maybe he'll play the exchange. Like I saw some recent games, he's been playing the exchange. He might go for he might go for the advance. He might go for some sideline. You know, this is a sideline, for example, like some early 95. It's a real thing. I don't know. That's what I expect for this game. He has played some d4, but I really don't think this is going to happen because I think if you're a lifelong e4 player and you see your opponent really 90% plays one opening, you're probably going to play e4. So this will probably be a Carl Khan battle. In the fifth round, I'm playing an interesting individual. I've actually played this person before. This is Qibiao Wang. And this guy is from China. I think he's been in the States maybe, I don't know, I think like 5 to 7 years. Qibiao is really mysterious. Like he's got a very odd playing style. I lost to him in 2019 or 18. I had the black pieces and he's like 2360, also with no title. And I'm pretty sure he has no, like his FIDE page has no birth year. I was like, this dude is like timeless. So he's a very mysterious player. So I don't know what he does. I mean, I for this game, I actually expect knight f6, e6 because you don't need to know a lot of theory to play knight f6, e6. You get what I'm saying? Like if he's suddenly started studying a ton of openings, but in the database, there's nothing much on him. So for this game, I expect this and, you know, knight f3, d5, or maybe he plays Queen's Indian. And for this opening, it's going to really have to look within myself whether I want to go for the Nimsos, I want to go for these forcing lines. or whether I just want to play knight f3 and then kind of like get one of these positions, you know, the traditional classical thing, not go for the Nimso Indian, because it's burned me a few times. I mean, it's really burned me, and I've gotten some bad positions because I wasn't super familiar with what was going on. And then the last 3 rounds, these are interesting. So this is the first time in my life I'm going to play Casa Corley with the white pieces. I've played Casa maybe 6 times in my life, and every time I was black. And he's beaten me every game. I mean, over the course of maybe like 10 to 12 years. And I played him in Charlotte, and I had the black pieces. That was a wild game. And what Casa was playing in Charlotte was the Benoni. He was playing the Benoni, which is interesting. I didn't know he played that. He won some very nice games. But his repertoire is very tough to pinpoint because he also can play the Queen's Gambit Declined. Like, I've seen him play the QGD. He won, like, the game of the year against the strong Ukrainian GM a couple of years ago. You should go check that game out. Crazy game. He sacked all his pieces, won, like, an unbelievable game. So, you know, we're going to go for d4. Maybe we'll go for c4. And, you know, maybe he'll play e5 or he'll play e6, knight f6. That's the thing about players that play knight f6, e6 setups. You know, you kind of force them into c4, e5. Or they play knight f6, e6, and you can use this move order to play the McKenna's Carl's English. So if they're stubborn, you can play this and maybe get an interesting game. Otherwise, you can just play, you know, d4 and or that. But yeah, d4. So I'm excited for this game against Casa because last time I made some progress after losing to him basically my entire life. We had a very imbalanced game. Both of us had winning chances, and this game, you know, I finally get white, so I gotta make it count, or else I can't have any more excuses. He only beats me because he gets the white pieces or something. So for the last 3 rounds, in the 7th, I'm playing Denis Shmelov. I've never played Denis. I know of him. He is, I believe, from Boston, like Boston-based. He is strong IM, like 2440, 2430, and his country is Ukraine, so we have a lot of players that kind of like live here, but still have like the Federation for FIDE in other places, which is why these tournaments are able to happen. The whole scouting report about Denis is my man is going to play this move on move 1. He plays d4. He does not play e4. He might play e4. You know, now that he watched this, he might play knight f3. I don't know, but he plays d4. He's a d4, like Lord of d4. So probably this is going to be the opening 2 moves, and then it's really up to him to decide which way this game is going to go. You know, will he play knight f3 or knight c3? Or g3, or whatever. That's the whole scouting report. You know, if he plays knight c3, bishop b4, his database has some queen c2. Probably he'll go for main lines. I think he has also played a little bit of f3. I don't expect f3. It's a little too sharp. Probably queen c2, and then there's a lot of theory. I mean, castle, c5. I've been playing d5 online a lot because it's very forcing and can lead to some really interesting tactical positions. So it'll be either an IMSO or, you know, we'll play knight f3, d5, and then, you know, he'll either go for Catalan or this. So the scouting report is relatively short, but I know that, you know, he's going to play d4. It will be a massive shock if he does not play d4. He might play e4 because I'll play Caro, but maybe I won't play Caro. Okay, next person. In the 8th round, I have a really interesting situation because I'm playing Brendan Jacobson. And I played Brendan Jacobson in the same round robin I played against Oliver Barbosa in 2019. And I had white against Brendan Jacobson in the same round robin that I played Oliver Barbosa. And in the 8th round of that round robin where I played Oliver... Okay, I'm going to stop. Brendan beat me. And Brendan beat me in that 8th round. And then he became a GM because he clinched the GM norm. So we have the same situation, except this time... I'm going to win to clinch my GM norm. You see? It's a beautiful thing about the universe. Now, Brandon, super strong. He's played in, like, a lot of, you know, top, like, youth events here, like, juniors and everything. He's become GM since then, and I don't exactly remember what his peak FIDE is. He fell a little bit. He lost some rating, and kind of now he's on his way back up. He's 25-15. Super unpredictable guy. Like, last time, I don't even exactly remember what opening he played against me because he had literally never played that opening before. Oh, he played this. He played d4, d6, c4, e5. Like, he never played that, ever. So he probably has some files that, you know, he has a very vast potential of a repertoire. I'm going to tell you right now, before this game, I'm going to just get some good sleep. That's it. Like, I'm not going to think too much, prep too much, stress too much. We're going to go. We're going to review stuff we're uncomfortable in before the game. And then we're going to go play chess. But he's good. He's very strong, very keen. He's going to, like, kind of, like, try to locate a spot in my repertoire where he thinks that he can exploit. Or not. Maybe he'll just be like, yo, this dude is trash. I'm not going to prep at all. I beat him once, so I'm going to do it again. The last round of this tournament is really intriguing because I have the black pieces against a frequent rival of mine in the last like 4 months, Chris Yu, 14, 15 years old, really talented player, super hardworking guy. He's going to be a GM, no question. He almost became a GM in the tournament that we played in St. Louis, but he did not have enough foreigners. He did not play enough people not from the host federation of the tournament. We played in that same round robin. I played Barbosa and Jacobson, and it was a Caro-Kann, and we drew that game. It was an interesting game, but we ended up drawing it. And I beat him in Las Vegas in a game that I called like the best game of my life with a question mark, because it almost was. I mean, it almost was a really nice game. Then I hung a knight, so it wasn't really the best game of my life, but it was a fun game. I had fun playing it. And we played in Title Tuesday recently, and yeah, I mean, I've just been playing him a lot. So what do I expect for this game? I don't know if he'll play into my Caro again, but he also recently has been adding D4 to his repertoire, and clearly he has some surprises, you know, because in Charlotte, he played my friend, and my friend played the Nimso, and then he played Queen B3. Like, a move that's not popular at all. So, you know, clearly, even in openings that are not like his main lines, he still has tons of prep. So, it's going to be an interesting game. On the flip side, this game might not even happen. Why? Because if Chris Yu or I have 6 points out of 8 going into the final round, and we only need a draw to clinch a GM norm, if he offers me a draw on move 5, I'm going to take it, because I'm not that guy, all right? I'm not going to, you know, you're not that guy, pal. At the same time, if I need a GM norm with a draw, he might try to beat me. I don't know if he'll give me the draw, but maybe he will. I don't know. It's kind of etiquette to do so. Or we might both need a draw. It would be pretty gangster if like he needed a draw and I was like, you want a draw? And then he just like tries to beat me anyway, because he's like, you're so trash. He's gonna try to beat me anyway. But that's the tournament. That's the scouting report of the players. Let's go back to full screen. So that's my tournament, and that's kind of how I prepare for my opponents. And I'm totally okay, you know, talking about their repertoires, obviously. That's not like some crazy, shocking scouting report. Oh, by the way, this is what my opponents play. Like, that's not giving away anything. It's all information out there. I haven't given away what I'm going to play, but I'm telling you kind of that's how the preparation process goes. And, you know, you kind of pick and choose, and you select ahead of time mentally the games that you're like, all right, I got to win this game at all costs. You know, like, this is a good situation, like, to win a game. Naturally, I'm a bit more wary of a guy like Lenderman, obviously. I mean, he's extremely strong. Like, he's a cut above, I would say, the field. He has to be so high rated in this field to offset my low rating. Literally, because you need an average rating of players in a field. When you have guys like me who are like bottom of the aquarium, 23-37, because, you know, they pooped their pants the last 2 tournaments. You need a guy like Lenderman to pull that average rating up. And Brandon Strong, you know, I've played Barbosa before, so we got some history. This will be the trilogy match of myself and Barbosa. But I'm excited. I'm really excited, and you can get all your courses for 33% off for all my, you know, for the whole time that this tournament is up and running. And I appreciate your support as always. So for good, for bad, we'll see how this tournament goes. And it's interesting because it's here at home. I don't have to travel, go stay in a hotel or anything. And yeah. Hopefully it goes well, and we get hungry, and we want to come back to tournaments in 2022. But for now, this is the final tournament.